Kim. Good morning. Good morning. Oh my goodness. I overslept a little this morning. And so I am still very tired. Oh my gosh. I gotta move the camera back a little bit. So I'm gonna grab you and move you without your consent, but I'm sure it'll be okay. That seems good. Okay. How's that looking? That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. We will be throwing stuff on the wheel later today. I don't know exactly when, but it will be later today. How does that look? That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Nice. Okay. What we will start out with doing today, though, is going to go around and tend to some of the pieces that we glazed yesterday. So a lot of them are looking a little rough on the surface here. And it's maybe not super necessary that I go through and do this, but it'll give me some good peace of mind that it'll end up being a nice, smooth finish when they come out of the kiln. And my voice is so gravelly. My goodness. My voice is always like really gravelly when I first wake up. And as I overslept, it's still, I'm still working it out. Okay. Okay. So we're going to get our little board here. And then, what I first want to do is this mug here. This one was a victim of the glaze, the second coat of glaze, not adhering very well to the coat underneath. Instead, I had to go through and peel off or flake off all the little spots that didn't adhere very well. See how easily that's falling off? That's no good. We can't have that. See, I just get my finger underneath it just slightly and it flakes right off. That's no good. That'll mean that it's going to come out of the kiln looking like poo-poo doo-doo. And we can't have that. I don't want that. So, I'm just going to go around, see if I can't find any other spots where it's really weak. Kind of like that. See how it's just falling right off? Can't have that. Might end up being this entire second coat that comes off. We'll see. Okay. Seems like I got everything. I've gone around the perimeter. Oh, I lied. There's a little more right here. I'm just going around the perimeter, around the outside, giving it a little push, seeing if it pops off like that. If it pops off, then it wasn't adhered well enough to the layer underneath, and it would have ended up not looking very nice coming out of the kiln. What would have happened is something called crawling, okay? It would either crawl or it would craze really bad, and both are not good things. Crawling is where the glaze pulls on itself. It's almost like it sticks to itself more than to the clay or to the layer of glaze underneath, the first coat of glaze, and you end up with your glaze moving and shifting around, and it causes like little pockets of bare clay underneath. And I actually have an excellent example. I'm going to go grab it right now that I can show you what I mean. Okay, I'm back. It was in the other room. Cool. Get close to the camera. So this right here, I'm going to try to brighten it up a little bit. There we go. So this right here was a victim of crawling. You can see how the glaze pulled out and away from the clay underneath. You can see how the glaze pulled more on itself rather than the clay that it was meant to be adhered to underneath, causing a lot of bare patches where you can see the clay underneath, and you don't want that. You want the glaze to adhere nice and evenly across the entire surface of the clay. You don't want it to crawl, not like this. Now, if that's something that you do on purpose, that'd be great. But in my case, I am not. So I've got a couple bare spots on the rim right here. I'm going to give those just a little TLC, just a little love. I'm going to touch up the glaze there. Try to fill those in. That way it's not going to be any bare clay on the rim. And then I might fire it like this, just as a little experiment. It's already pretty much ruined because of the glaze not adhering very well. But it might end up looking really cool with the bare patch running along the outside here, with some of it covered, some of it not. It might end up looking really cool. We'll see. So let me touch up those spots on the rim, and then we will go from there. that I'll try to touch it up with just a little bit of this floating iron. Trying to be nice and thorough. This floating iron is also an experimental glaze, so it'll be kind of fun to see how it turns out. Okay. There's a couple spots on the inside that I'm going to go in and try to touch up. Okay. We'll go with that. See how it turns out. It'll be a little bit of an experiment. Pottery is a lot of experimenting. Or rather, glazes are a lot of experimenting. Okay. So, we're going to see how that turns out. I have no idea. That will be fun and interesting to see. Okay. Next, I'm just going to go around and I'm going to smooth out the surface on all of the pieces that we glazed yesterday. Maybe not super necessary, but like I said, gives me a little bit of peace of mind. Gives me a good amount of peace of mind that the finish will be nice and smooth. That they'll come out of the kiln looking nice. Okay. So, I need to make sure that I'm keeping my hands clean from piece to piece. That way, there's no contaminating going on. So let's give them a good rinse. We don't want to contaminate the glaze, the coat of glaze from piece to piece. Okay. What we also need to do is we need to go through and clean off this bottom edge, almost the rim along the bottom of each piece, and make sure that they are looking nice and smooth. A lot of times you can just do it with finger, thanks to the wax underneath. It just comes right off. Sometimes have to use the sponge. See how it goes. Sort of play it by ear. The main goal here is that we just create a nice, even, and smooth edge along the bottom. That way it'll have the best chance of looking nice. That one's looking pretty good along the bottom edge there. Just smooth the surface out a little bit. Make sure there's no bumpies here and there that might end up affecting our finished coat. Fancy Pudding, hello. Salutations. How's your St. Patrick's Day? I didn't even know that it happened. That's how it went. When was that? How was your St. Patrick's Day? It was yesterday? Oh, I didn't know. It was good though. It was good. Just not celebrated. Is that why I didn't see you yesterday? Were you busy with St. Patty's Day celebrations? It went good. You wore green and got a shamrock shake to celebrate? Heck yeah. Shamrock shake. I haven't had one of those in a long time. It's cool they're still doing them though. Did you do any drinking? Or is the Shamrock Shake the extent of your drinking yesterday? Okay, that one's looking pretty good. Let's set it up. You were going to watch the movie The Leprechaun, but you couldn't find it on the DVD shelf, so you just took a nap instead and then played Eugenics. Oh yeah, you were playing that the last time we talked. Maybe a couple weeks ago. That's really cool. I haven't played it myself, but I have watched a lot of the gameplay online on the YouTubes. It looks like a really cool game. You don't really drink that much? Hey, that's okay. I don't really drink that much either. I used to back when I was in college, but since then, meh. Yeah. It's just not really fun anymore. Okay. You weren't here because your work was busy, sadly? Oh, man. That sucks. But you got through it, though. So that's good, right? You made it through. You persevered. You're going to play more Eugenics on Thursday. It's still cold in your garage and you're tired of the cold already. Is that where you have your Switch set up? Or your gaming console? Whatever you play on. Is it out in your garage? Sadly, it is still extremely cold here, too. Yesterday, it was down in the teens. Today, it's not much better. We've still got snow on the ground from the other day. And my wife and I are not happy about it. There's a lot of stuff that we need to do outside between the chickens in the garden and everything, and can't be waiting around for the cold. Your lamp work desk is in your garage. Your gaming computer is inside your house. Okay, okay. I guess that makes sense. That's probably not the type of thing that you really want to do inside unless you have really good ventilation, huh? Mhm. That one feels good. Set it off. We finished glazing all of our pieces yesterday, and now I'm just going around. I'm cleaning up the bottom edge. Even though I waxed them, they don't come out perfect, which is a little annoying, but it's nothing that we can't fix with a little extra time and effort. And then we're smoothing out the surface, making sure it's nice and smooth so that it comes out nice and smooth in the kiln. You also don't want to store and keep the propane tanks inside for a fire risk. That's probably for the best. If the garage lights a flame, it's separate from the house and far enough it shouldn't catch it on fire should something happen. Nice. Good thinking. We do not want any fires inside the house. Okay. Okay, and smooth out the surface. Make sure any little bumpies, any extra little clumps of ingredients that I didn't get mixed up very well in the glaze get knocked off. Because we don't want those in the finished product. No, 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 no. Okay. Looks good. So your garage is separate from your house. I see, I see. I have a little workshop outside that is separate from the house, and it makes it very difficult to motivate myself and go out there and work on anything, especially when it's cold. So how was your shamrock shake, huh? Was it pretty yummy? Was it everything that you had hoped it would be? Or is McDonald's slipping? After we go through and clean up all the edges and everything on these, we can let them, I think I'll let them sit for maybe one more day before we get the kiln loaded and get it fired. Just to make sure we get all the water out of them. It was good, but not as good as Arby's Andy's mint shakes. Ooh, Andy's mints, so good. My wife and I, we go to Olive Garden like once a month maybe, and the Andy's mints at the end are always our favorite part. There's been a couple times where we've asked the server if we could have like a few extra, and the one time they brought like an entire to-go container full of them. It was awesome. They rocked. We had mints for weeks. Arby's didn't end up doing the shakes this year for some reason. Oh no. Why not? But the shamrock shake was still good. Well, that's good at least. I wonder why they didn't do the shake this year. Maybe it didn't do very well last year, and so they didn't feel like bringing it back, maybe. I wonder. Going here, this is going to be our ivory. It's going to be our ivory. It's one of my favorite glazes to do on the speckled tan. Speckled tan clay that we've got here. Maybe you're wondering if it could be something where they didn't renew their partnership with Andy's or something. Oh yeah, they probably do have to do that, huh? I hadn't thought about that. That's a very good point. And it's very possible. What color will that cup be? The one that I just did This one that I just did will end up being ivory, which when when used on this speckled tan clay ends up having a lot of little spots, a lot of little specklies throughout it. So it'll be a nice white ivory with a bunch of little brown dots throughout it. And ends up looking really nice. Really, really nice. I do need to figure out why my wax isn't performing as well as I would like it to. It's really annoying having to go through and clean up every single edge on every single piece like this. Because I shouldn't have to do that. Okay. Also, I'm not sure why, but this time when I glazed everything, I ended up with a lot of these little air bubbles in the surface of my glaze. I'm not sure if I accidentally worked too much air into the glazes as I was like mixing them up, maybe, or what. I haven't had that happen before, so it's making me do a bit of a concern. That will look great. Heck yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do. One of my favorite glazes to use on the speckled tan. Ends up looking really nice. How often do you get out to your garage and work on your lamp work stuff? How often would you say? Is it like an every week kind of thing? An every other day kind of thing? This one here is going to be our blurple, which is a bluish purple. It's very pretty. I actually have a tile of it right here. It's a nice bluish purple. Every Thursday evening you get out there and work. Okay, okay. Unless it's cold. If it's too cold, then you do something else on the weekend. And on the weekend, you read in your lamp work books. Oh, okay. So you do something lamp work related at least once a week. Very cool. It's always good to study up and learn something new. I need to wet one of these sponges and use it to help clean this one up a bit. This one's a bit rougher than the other ones. to help quite a bit. You also like to use Pinterest, so you like to pin inspiration boards to inspire you? Heck yeah. My wife uses Pinterest a lot. Sometimes it seems like she spends more time looking at her hobby stuff on Pinterest than she does actually working on her hobbies. Which is fine. Whatever makes her happy, you know? It's just funny to me. That one seems good. Let's move on. Let me grab and use this other sponge to clean my hands off. This paper towel is not really working out. They just keep falling apart. Can't have that. Okay. There we go. Hands are nice and cleaned up now. On to the next one. Okay, alright. Bottom's looking good. Let's just smooth it out a bit. Do I like corned beef and cabbage at all? I love corned beef and I love cabbage. I've never had them together, though. Are they really good together? Is that a thing? I've never had them together, but I do love them both separately. Corned beef hash is one of my favorite, like, breakfast things to have. Always super good. Ever since I was a wee lad. We're about halfway through all of our pieces, I would say. And then we can move on to something else. Something else maybe a bit more exciting. They're really good together. Ooh, I'll have to try it out then. You love corned beef and cabbage. The corned beef is cooked with the cabbage, and the cabbage soaks up all the good meat juices. Ooh, and becomes super tender. It's delish. I believe it. That does sound really good. That sounds super good. Like I said, I've only ever had corned beef hash and corned beef like on its own. And that is crazy good. So I can only imagine how good this corned beef and cabbage must be. I do really like cabbage. It is very similar to Brussels sprouts for me. And I love Brussels sprouts. So I can only imagine. I'll have to add it to my list of yummy, delicious things to try out. My wife and I were big foodies, always interested in trying new, delicious foods. So it's definitely going on the list. Rest assured. You concur, you love both as well. Oh yeah. How can you not? I wonder how corned beef would go with Brussels sprouts then. If it's really good with cabbage, I wonder if Brussels sprouts would be a great option too. Okay. Oh yeah, burst through the wall. How silly. My wife and I, we went to a buffet yesterday. Last night, we went to a buffet to celebrate her getting a new job. And it's really silly because this buffet in their dessert section, they have like Kool-Aid jammers. So, like the little Capri Suns of Kool-Aid. And I always like to get one because they're so good. And so I actually just had Kool-Aid last night. So that reference is really funny. Well timed. Okay. Smooth this one. Now it's a bit rougher on the inside than it is on the outside. So let's give it a little TLC. Make sure it turns out nice. A little extra time and effort goes a long way. Oh man, that's rad. It's so good. This buffet that we go to is crazy good. They always have Kool-Aid jammers and Go-Gurts, like the tubes of yogurt in the dessert section, and I always stock up. I fill my plate with them. It's really silly, but they're crazy good. Okay. What kind of food is this buffet? Sorry, my voice is all gravelly still. What kind of food does the buffet have? You love buffets. So this buffet, it's interesting because it's like a Japanese steakhouse almost. So they have a hibachi buffet where you can get like custom hibachi made. But they also have a little of everything. So they have a lot of like traditional Asian foods on the buffet, like there's a lot of like fried fish. There's a lot of there's like fried tempura. There's crab rangoons. There's like teriyaki skewers, like chicken skewers. Um, but then there's also like American food. So you can get like all you can eat mozzarella sticks, all you can eat chicken tenders and chicken wings and like barbecue chicken and um, barbecue like pork ribs. And then they have like a really big sushi buffet also. So you can get like pretty much any kind of sushi made. If they don't have whatever you want out, you just ask and they make it for you. Um, and then their dessert section is also like really big. They have a bunch of like Oreo pudding and banana pudding and like little coffee cakes and espresso cakes. And then they have like a big freezer full of like a bunch of different kinds of ice cream. And it's actually even like really reasonably priced. It's only like 25 per person for all these different options and everything. So it's really not that bad. Buffets are kind of my favorite eating out option because I like a lot of variety and I also don't like to leave a restaurant hungry. So this buffet is like one of my top three restaurants in the area. Okay. There's also a really good Chinese buffet in our area, which is another one of our go-tos. All right, that was everything on that table. Let's move to this table. These are all bowls. They'll be a little bit quicker. A little bit quicker to work with because there's no handle that I have to work around. Nice. The place is called Tokyo Grill. And it is delish. Okay. There's that one. Sounds like a cool place. Your favorite buffet is Huhot. Is it Hoot? Huhot, which is a Mongolian grill, all you can eat, and it's great. We also have we have a couple places around here that are like all you can eat Mongolian grills. I don't remember what they're called at the moment. There's one in Columbus and there's one here in Dayton too. But it's super good. And I think you pay by like the number of bowls that you eat. And so you like make sure that you fill the bowls up. You like really fill the bowls up. So you don't want to pay for a bowl that ain't got no food in it. Alright, we're chugging along here, making good progress. It'd be cool if there was a way that you could that you could figure out how to do your lamp work stuff inside the house. That way it would be a little easier to do it even when it's cold out, but it would be tough with the like the fire hazard and fumes and all that. You would almost have to like I don't know, you would almost have to have like a line run like from wherever you would be comfortable with keeping the propane and that sort of thing, like outside of the house, and have the line like run inside of the house, and then you can turn it like on and off as needed maybe. Still though, Still maybe a bit risky. Maybe a good option could be like walling off a section in your garage. That way it's a little easier to like heat it and make it get it warm instead of heating your entire garage. That might help out. People do that. Yeah, it's an option. It might just be a little bit difficult to pull off. Pull off well. It is an option, though. It just sucks when there's something that you really want to do and you're kind of hindered by external forces like the weather and whatnot. Things that you can't control. The insulation in the garage isn't that good, so you plan on trying to fix that issue this year. There you go, that could be an option. Get some more insulation in there. Maybe trying to figure out a way to maybe like enclose your space, that way it's less to heat. Maybe a little easier to heat it up, a little faster to heat it up maybe. But insulation is a great way to improve things. My wife and I, when we first moved into our house here, adding insulation to our attic was one of the very first things that we did. Because it was cold in this house. I don't think there's any insulation in the walls, and there's barely any in the attic. It was an old house, so who knows? Okay. Do we rent or own our home? We own it. We bought it 3 years ago now. We've been here about 3 years. And we like it so far. Of course, there's things that we wish were different about it, but overall, we like it. Don't think it's our forever home. I don't think that we're going to be here forever till the day we die, but we'll see. You own your home as well? Nice. Seems to be getting less and less common with the prices of everything skyrocketing. I know what we paid for this house was not it was not a price that I was very happy with. It felt like it was a lot of money for not a lot of house. But unfortunately, what are you gonna do? How long have you had your house for? How long you been there? Sounds good. Illinois house prices seem to have a lot of variety. Your mom's currently looking for a house in the market. The market's a seller's market, so it's very tough for her right now. Yeah, it's kind of how it was when we bought a house. We've got this one about 3 years ago, and it looks like you got yours about 3 years ago also. So it hasn't improved very much. If anything, it's gotten worse, which is truly unfortunate. I don't know how anyone is going to afford a house here soon. You agree? Yeah. It's getting crazy. It is getting crazy. Prices of everything are getting crazy. Only a few bowls left. Then we've got about a dozen mugs on the back shelf to finish up after that. And then that's it. I'll just let these sit and chill for another day or so, and we'll get them popped into the kiln. See how they turn out. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I've got some high hopes for this batch. Popping and locking, not stopping. Hell yeah. Okay. Okay. So how's work going today? Said yesterday was busy. How about today? Hopefully it's better. And you said that you do chat support, like online chat support. So what happened that made it so busy? Were there like a lot of bugs? Did something break yesterday? Just what the heck was going on? Outside looks good. Let's tend to the inside here. Okay. Seems good. You looked up that punk band that you said your wife liked. You didn't really care for their music much personally. You're not a fan of pop punk that sounds like that, but your husband is. So he liked it. Okay. Hey, everybody likes different things. That's okay. Work's going good. Normal amount of busy at the moment. Nice. And a coworker was out for vacation, so you had less staff on hand. I see, I see. That makes more sense. That explains it. Is your coworker back today? Is that why things are a normal amount of busy today? They're back? Heck yeah. That feels good. That feels good. It makes sense now that you say that they're a pop punk band rather than like purely punk. That makes sense. I can see it now. When it comes to music, I don't go as hard as most other people do, so I'm kind of like I don't really know like the differences. So I'm a little ignorant in that regard. You like some pop punk. It's just a genre that you're more picky with for the singing tones they use for some reason. I see. Okay, okay. So it's not like a general distaste. You're just picky. I see. You know what you like, and you like to stick to it. Totally understandable. After cleaning up this one, we've got about 6 or 7 left. And then we'll check out our little flowers, clean up the stems on those. And then I'm hoping to move on to some hand throwing some stuff on the wheel. Try to get some of that done. Try to get as much hand throwing done today as we can. That way it can start to dry. And the sooner it dries, the sooner we can trim it. So that is the goal. You like more than you dislike. That's good. You're pretty musically open-minded. Okay, I see. You like a little of everything, but you maybe not necessarily picky. You just like what you like. I see. I'm gonna take a picture of this one. This one's looking a bit rougher than the other ones, and I'd like to do a little research and find out why some of these are turning out as rough as they are. Need to do a little research. Try to avoid this in the future. So if these come out of the kiln not looking very nice, I will be very upset because this is a lot of potential product to lose. We'll see. I will be big sad. You lean more towards pop and punk genres. You also enjoy quite a bit of rap. I used to be really big into rap back when I was in like middle school and high school. It used to be pretty much the only thing that I listened to, but since I have since expanded my horizons when it comes to music. I like a decent amount of country, not all of it. I really don't like most modern country, which is more like pop country. But like older country, I like quite a bit. I like a lot of like lo-fi and electronic beat kind of thing, kind of stuff. I like a little of everything, really. I like a lot of pop punk. It's what my wife and I listen to mostly because it's her favorite genre. You feel the same way about country music? Yeah. Older country, I like almost all of it. You know, I'm down to listen to pretty much anything if it's older country music from like the mid 2000s and before. But anything nowadays, it's kind of like, yeah. It just feels like pop. Feels more like pop than what I feel like country music is supposed to be. You liked when country leaned more into rock than pop? Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Feels more like what it was meant to be. Like if it's leaning more into pop, then it doesn't really feel like it's country anymore, you know? It's pretty much just become pop. But I guess that's what makes the money. So they're probably gonna keep going in that direction rather than turn away from it. You blame Taylor Swift. It's probably that probably has a little something to do with it, huh? She really has gone like the whole spectrum from like country straight into pop, like full pop. So yeah, it's probably that probably has a lot to do with it, huh? Hmm. We're getting close to the end here. We're getting very close to the end. Then we get to do something a bit more fun, a bit more exciting. You like a rapper called Young Gravy. That's a great name. He has a country voice, but he mainly raps, and you like that. That's comedy rap, though, which is a genre that you enjoy. You like Young Gravy and Baby No Money. Baby No Money. I've heard of Baby No Money. And Young Gravy. Man, that name sounds so familiar. Let me look that up real quick. That name sounds so familiar. Let's see. Young Gravy. What are some of the songs that he's done? Welcome to Chili's. That's an old meme. That is an old meme. I'll have to give his music a listen. That sounds like something that I would like. Whenever I think of comedy country, there's a let me look it up quick. Parked Out by the Lake by Dean Summerwind is the song that I always think of when it comes to like comedy country. It's pretty great. You should give it a listen if you haven't. Betty is pretty good. Mr. Clean. I saw that on there when I was scrolling through. I'll have to give that a listen later. That sounds like it would be up my alley. You like his song with Baby No Money called You Need Jesus? I saw that one on there too. That was in like the top listened to ones, like his most popular ones. I'll have to give it a listen. The music video for that song is pretty funny. Okay. I'll give it a listen. That sounds like a good time. Well, we got 3 mugs left. Then we'll move on to cleaning up all the handles on our little flowers here, all the stems. And then that'll be it. This one's gonna need some extra time and effort. I'm gonna I'm gonna set this one off to the side, and we'll deal with that later. And Betty, he uses the melody from Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. You unironically liked that song and thought he did great with using the melody in a new way. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like when I typically like when modern songs and stuff reuse older songs in a cool way. They like remix them, or even if they just use the beat or the melody or whatever. It's always fun. Always fun to have like a little throwback. Okay. Seems good. Okay, one more mug. Get a quick picture of this one too. I'll be very sad if a lot of these don't turn out very well in the kiln. Though we will see. That one's cute. Looks like a honey pot with the shape. Yeah, that's what I was going for with it. This is one of the honey pot ones. I think this might be the same one that you mentioned the other day. It looked like a honey pot. I think it's the same one. Okay. That was the last one. Move on to our flowers. If they have trouble in the kiln, you can fix them if it's minor. It just means going through another firing, though, and using more product. Yeah, it does suck. It is an option if it needs to, if things need to be fixed up. It's always an option, but It does suck, and it's not like a guarantee that it's going to turn out well either. But we'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed. It goes just fine. Maybe I lose a couple here and there, but as well as it's like overall successful, then I'll be happy. I've really got to figure out why my wax isn't working as well as I would like it to. I really shouldn't have to go through and clean up like every single one like this. Maybe I just need to apply more wax. I let the wax dry for a few days before I dip anything, but it still doesn't really work as well as I would like it to. Maybe I just need to use more. It's something else that I've got to look into. Trying to transition from doing it as a hobby and doing it as a business is there's still some things that I haven't figured out completely and entirely. Unfortunately. What will you do with them if they fail? Will you still try to sell them? I'll probably still try to sell them. I'll just mark them as like not food safe and more as just like a decorative thing and like mark down the price a lot. So like with our bowls, the bowls I'm planning on selling for between like $15 to $20. So I'd probably instead only sell them for like $5. You know, like any piece that I would like consider to be like a failure, would probably only sell for like $5. You know. Unfortunately, really we'll just have to take the L on a lot of the failures and try to recoup a little something. Like maybe someone will still buy it just to use for like a little like air plant or maybe just like a decorative thing on a desk or something like that. But definitely won't try to sell it as being food safe if the glaze fails. Don't want to be out here making people sick. Whenever I get things out of the kiln, the first thing I do is I bring it all inside, and I set everything out on a desk or on a table, whatever, and I put a layer of wood underneath. So like I stack everything on just like thin sheets of wood like this, and then I go through and I fill each and every single one of them with water, and then I let it sit for at least 24 hours. I let it sit, and I see if it develops a ring on the wood underneath, and if it develops a ring, then that means that the glaze has crazed or cracked or failed or whatever, and it's allowing the water to soak into the clay underneath, and then it transfers it to the wood. And so I can see which ones are food safe and which ones aren't. Um, so I figured that out. I figured out a really good way to like ensure that things are food safe and will be safe to sell to people. So I always do that to make sure before handing them out to people. I don't want to be making anyone sick. Can't have that. Everyone loves an underdog. You can market it as that, and people love saving things. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. People love, I have seen like things at like conventions and markets and that kind of thing where people like try to like personify their stuff into like I might not be pretty, but I still deserve a home. That kind of thing. And almost like it's almost like guilting people into buying it. But hey, if it works, I guess, huh? A lot of them would still be perfectly fine for like pots, for like small plants and that kind of thing. I've seen a lot of people do that because the plants aren't really going to care if it's food safe or not, you know. So that's always an option too. Having multiple price points and the idea of them getting a deal can draw people in who otherwise may not have done a purchase. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's almost like a clearance bin. Just have a little bin of things that didn't turn out like we expected them to and just mark them down, and somebody will buy them, I'm sure. At least be able to recoup a little bit on it instead of it being a total loss, which will be a good thing. That is definitely part of the plan. Humans have this habit of animating the unanimated and unliving objects around us. It's fun and cute. Yeah, it's always fun to do stuff like that. Everything deserves a home, right? Cleaning up the flowers goes pretty quick. Don't spend as much time trying to make the flowers perfect because they're just going to be set outside anyways and be be out in the elements and get wear and tear on them a lot quicker than like mugs and bowls and stuff inside the house would. So the little flowers are kind of going to be like our low price point when it comes to our lineup of products. Gonna run a deal on these for like 1 for $10 or maybe like 3 for 25, something like that. Just something to market to people who maybe don't come to a show or whatever, show or a market with as much spending money, that kind of thing. We'll see. We'll see. My friends think that I should probably increase the prices of what I'm asking on everything, but I don't know. Anything more than $10 or $15 for each of these little flowers, that just sounds like too much to me. I personally wouldn't spend that much on them, so. The bees will be happy. The bees will be happy no matter how the flower looks. Absolutely. The bees will not be very picky. As long as it's got a nice little sweet treat in it or some water that they can stop and have a little break. That's all they're going to care about. Do you have like a display that explains what bee sippers are? Yes, we haven't made it yet, but we're planning on like putting a little sign with like the price and a little explanation as to what some of the different like more obscure things might be. And then my wife, she makes these little crochet bees, and we're gonna put like a couple bees like in and amongst the flowers. Just kind of show like, hey, these are what these are. This is what these are. This is what they're for. Okay. We're making good progress. After the flowers here on this table, I've only got one more little strip of them. So only about 10 more flowers to go. Then we can move into something a bit more exciting, a bit more fun. Do some throwing on the wheel and see where that leads us. Okay. On to the next one. Red ones look like they coated nicely. Any of the flowers have bubbles in them? A few of them do. There's a few bubbles here and there, but not anywhere near as many as what were on these, like the bugs in the bowls. I'm not really sure what happened. Maybe the flowers, since they sit flat like that, maybe they dried out a little bit slower, like the glaze dried out a little bit slower. And that might be what led to them developing a nicer finish coat, a nicer finish on the glaze. I've got to look into that. I know that if the glaze dries out too quickly on the surface, you'll get a lot of cracking and flaking in the glaze. But I haven't seen it like bubble up that bad. So I'm not sure if maybe I just mixed too much air into the glaze as I was like mixing and stirring it up. Maybe. I've got to look into that. Try to figure out just what the heck happened. But the flowers did. They turned out a lot nicer than the other ones. It's good that they didn't have much bubbles. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They're a bit of a concern with all the other pieces, but we'll see how they turn out. Okay. Okay, that's all those. Let's clean the red off of our hands quick. That way we don't spread it to the other flowers and stuff. Okay. It's almost noon here already. My gosh, I can't even believe it. I can't believe it. What the heck? It's nearly time for mashed potatoes and potato wedges, huh? Or cup ramen. Which is it today? Can't believe it's not butter. This is silly. You're actually gonna go for a walk. Ooh, okay. and get a hot dog from Sam's. It's warmer out today than it was yesterday. It's 35 Fahrenheit right now. Hey, that's not bad. Not too shabby. Yesterday it was cold. It was like really chilly yesterday. I forgot that hot dogs were one of your other go-tos. I remember that from the first time that you stopped in on the stream. You went on your little walk to go get your hot dog. That's fun. I sure hope that it keeps warming up. I am sick and tired of the cold. The hot flash, the heat flash last week was a bit of a tease to go right back to being freezing cold again. You got that dog in you. Silly. Or at least you will soon. You got dad jokes, I can tell. Leo Thor was mentioning that they like the joke over on her stream a lot, which explains it. That explains it. Okay. Our last one of that color. We've got 4 purple flowers left. And then that's it. Okay. Bear in the Garden is all about the jokes. Is he someone who goes and watches Leo's streams a lot? They're a chatter who watches Leo most of the time that they stream. I see. You answered my question before I had even asked it. He is all about the jokes, huh? He's a little jokester. That's fun, though. That's fun. I'm sure it makes the stream nice and lively. Oh, I scared myself. Okay. Last one. Okay, boom. All the flowers done. Nice. We'll let those sit a little bit longer before we send them into the kiln. Make sure that everything is nice and dry beforehand. Don't want to put anything that's still wet. Anything that's still got some moisture into the kiln. That is a no-no. That would be bad. Pottery. I'm very tired today. My goodness. Okay, let's see. I need to find room for all these. I need to put them somewhere else. I need to clean this shelf off so I can put the stuff that I throw in here. So, I need to move a lot of this out of the way. Let's see, how do I want to do that? I might load it all up onto these sheets, because these sheets are what I'm going to use to take it up out to the kiln out in the garage. So I might as well just load it up now, take it out, and set it on the table outside this room, and maybe we'll go from there. Gets it out of the room, which is the main goal at the moment. So let's do that. Here, I'll start from the back. It's pretty exciting though. This is the most that I've ever had glazed all at the same time, which is very exciting. Okay, this one's full. I'm going to take it out. I'll be right back. Actually, I'll just set it on the table right here, since I freed up some space. Do you use/have any cool yellow glazes that I like to use? I do. I have a rutile-based yellow glaze. I don't have the big buckets made up of it. I have a little container about this size. I need to experiment a little bit more with it, make sure that I can like really hone in on the specific gravity and get like really nice repeatable results out of it. And then after that, I might then mix up a big bucket of it and use it for my dip glazes. But I just haven't gotten that far with it yet. But I do have one. I would really like to get a little further with that one because I would really like to use it for the flowers. Get some nice yellow flowers. I think that would be really cool. Ooh, big stretch. Okay. You used to have this yellow glaze that you would use, and you would use that. Sorry, let me start. My brain sputtered out. You used to have this yellow glaze you would use that was yellow. Okay. And then had black fine speckles throughout it. So it would be yellow with fine black dots, and you really liked using that glaze. That sounds really cool. I love I love using glazes that have like little extra bits like that, little speckles, little spots. That's why I like using the glazes on the speckled tan clay so much, because the clay itself causes that to happen. It has the little bits of glaze throughout it, which is super cool. Always ends up looking really nice. Okay, that's all of them. All right, I might go and take my lunch break right now. I'll go make my lunch. I'll come back and eat it down here. Then, but maybe before then, I'll go ahead and I'll take all of these glazed pieces out, get them prepared on the tables out there, get them prepared to take upstairs and out to the garage for the kiln. That way I can get them out of here and out of the way. I might go ahead and do that. So, I'm going to break for lunch. I'll put up the break screen. I'll be back in a little bit. And if I don't see you when I get back, well, then I hope you have a great day. All right? All right. I'll be back.